All right, new product owners are talking about this all the time, and they're basically saying, hey, how do I order a backlog? And what are some techniques for product backlog ordering and organization? So what do you guys got on this?
Oh, can I take a crack at this, please?
Go for it, Craig.
All right. So I feel like there's two situations that product owners find themselves in. One is, hey, welcome to the team. You are a product owner. Here's your backlog, and you've got a bunch of stuff in there that it just looks like a dumping ground for ideas. That inherently is challenging because you were not the ones that curated those ideas. You've inherited them. I think the best that we can do at that point when you're inheriting a product backlog is to try to identify what your central goal is. What is the point of this product backlog? Where are we going? It's no different than my mom handing me a bunch of MapQuest directions, not to steal one of Jason's examples, but it's brilliant. MapQuest directions, and she just hands me the pile of them from the last several trips and says, can you make a destination out of this? That's ludicrous. I need to know where we're going so I can actually start to determine what turns we're making, what restaurants we might go to, what hotel to stay at, not the inverse. So first off, if you're inheriting a product backlog, try to just imagine what is the actual destination first, and then look at that backlog and see if you can find some things in it that gets us there, and get those things near the top. Very overly generalized, but that's a good place to start. If you're starting from scratch, by all means, please create a goal first. Tell me where we're going. And then as you begin to curate those ideas and input and requirements, I put in quotes, but the suggestions from our stakeholders and customers, we can begin to see how those things may align to where we're going and be able to prioritize those just purely from a direction standpoint. Ultimately, I'm thinking you still have to bring into the idea of what is most valuable. Do that first, if it makes sense to do so. What will eliminate some of the biggest assumptions that we have, bring those in first. So it's hyper generalized, but use those two metrics or two perspectives when it comes to prioritization, and that'll get you started.
Yeah, goals and value are a great place to start. That's very. I agree with that as from a very high level, broad way of thinking. Like start with a goal, organized by value. Let me get real tactical for a minute and share just one. There's lots and lots of different techniques, but here's one technique that I've seen work pretty well. Given that you have that goal, that what are we aiming at, where are we going? Understand why that's your goal. Like maybe there's something maybe there's a couple things you're trying to achieve with that goal. Why is that your goal? What outcomes are you hoping for? As an example, let's assume that whatever your goal is, you're hoping for increased market share, you're looking for increased brand recognition, and you're also hoping for decreased customer service events like support calls and things like that. Okay, those are three outcomes that you can look at each of your product backlog items through those lenses and say, for these three things, does this product backlog item affect the brand recognition, high, medium, or low? Does this product backlog item impact the market share, high, medium, or low? Customer service, high, medium, or low? Give each one a score. Right? High is 3, low is 1, etc. And now you've got a number that you can assign to this thing as sort of a value score. I wouldn't sort like in Excel by this value score and just do all the 9s first and then the 8s and then the 7s. But it can give you a way to think about these things like, oh, this one's more important because it affects all three of these outcomes versus this one we can deprioritize because it only really affects our brand perception, but not market share or customer service. And it just gives you some concrete things to discuss not only with yourself as you're organizing your product backlog, but also discuss with stakeholders as to why you prioritize it that way. So that's one tactic. There's lots of others out there, but that's one I've seen work really well.
Jason, I'm really surprised to hear you wouldn't throw this all in Excel and sort it. I thought you were, a freak in the sheets over there.
I mean, I might still put in Excel and make some pretty graphs, but you still need to, at least for now, you still need a human making these decisions. I'm sure in a couple of years we'll have, Chat GPT Product Owner Edition, and they can just sort it for you.
I'm into it.
Hey there. So if you're here and this is your first time, and you're interested in growing in your agility and understanding things like Scrum and other Agile topics, then be sure to get started by hitting that subscribe button and also that bell. You're going to get notifications, and I don't want you to miss out on a thing.